You get like one 40 armor out of it, one. Is that like? White. So white.
Okay. Let's start the class. So today we continue to talk more about Zen traditions. And actually, the brief introduction, if you really want to study Zen, is plenty of information. Okay, what do you have for Linji?
Linji, I don't know how to say his last name, the Y-I. Okay.
Linji, you know Linji is?
The founder of the Linji school of Chan Buddhism. All the information that we have on Linji was recorded 250 years after his death, and it's called the Linji Yuli, or Yulu. He was born into a family named Zing, and he left at a young age to study Buddhism in different places. He had a first master, Huangbo Ziyong, and it is said that he became Kenshu and left and then came back to that master. After reaching awakening, he's known for teaching students to help reach awakening by hitting and shouting. It was most often used with a fly whisk. Is that like a fly swatter? And then there was this whole story that I'm not sure if you want me to read it. It was the Linji's iconoclasm, and it's if you want to, it says if you want to get the kind of understanding that core Dharma, never be misled by others. And it said like you can meet Buddha, kill Buddha. Are you going to explain that part? Okay.
Sure.
I don't understand that. And that's pretty much all I have.
That's all. Okay. If you don't understand anything about Buddhism, especially Zen tradition, this is make you out your mind, right? Hold on, what's new? If you meet Buddha, kill Buddha. If you meet your parents, kill your parents.
I would assume he doesn't mean literally.
That's the point.
It's more metaphorical. He's just saying, don't let anything stand in your path. Don't let anything block your way or distract you, even your family or the Buddha or the teaching.
That's the
He's
point.
not literally saying go and kill them.
Yeah, that's the point.
I think he's saying kill the distraction.
Right. That's right.
Not the actual person.
Okay. That's the point. So don't take it. Don't think it's successful to kill people, right?
Right.
No, that's not the case. Because if you do meditation, while you're sitting there, there's a lot of talk popping up. Attachment to your family members, parents, girlfriends, boyfriends, children, and so forth. You need to let them go. That's what you mean. Don't attach to them. If you don't attach to them, you move forward. It makes more advanced. Otherwise, you get stuck there. Because that he talk about the mental level of mind, not the physical level.
Because he's talking about meditation in this passage.
Let me tell you a story. There is a monk. He, a Chinese monk. He liked to go to the Five Peaks mountain in China. It's famous, where they worship the Manchurian Bodhisattva, the Wisdom Bodhisattva. So he want to go there to see him spiritually, but somehow later on he recognized that's not much important. So later on he worked in the kitchen of the big monastery. You know, in monastery in the past, thousands of monks staying together. So when they have actually when they prepare the meal, it's a lot. They have a huge pot to cook rice, tofu, and so forth. It's not a small one because it's cooked for the whole community, for hundreds of thousands of monks together to eat at one time. So while he cooking the rice, so somehow the steam of water is come up, and so somehow the figures of that Bodhisattva, Wisdom Bodhisattva, appear into the stream, the steam. So somehow he uses the stick to hit that figure. Of course, why? It's fake. It's illusion. So make sure if you do meditation, you have to know this. Don't attach to illusion. If you attach to illusion, you get lost. You could not concentrate well. So that's just a meaning, right? And of course, again, on Monday, right? I told you that the shouting and hitting style is start from him, right? The people in the West it's not easy for you guys to accept, right? It seems that the violent person, that's not the case. You know, in Buddhism, we have two types of what we call wrathful. How can I say wrathful? A?
It's TH.
Oh, TH, right? Oh, wrathful, right?
Yeah.
Wrathful Bodhisattva and compassionate Bodhisattva. Is that all? The mother is so compassionate. The father, wrathful. You understand that? So the reason why children like to live or love the mother than the father, because the father still loves them, but they somehow we have the masculine personality that we used to do things stronger than the ladies, right? But doesn't mean that we don't love children, we don't love our students, and so forth. Understand that? So later on, I mean, next week we talk about the tantric tradition. They have these two opposites. So the point is the intention. Right? Used to tell you this example, right? If you see a child walking toward the wood heater. Do you have wood heater? You have wood heater?
Oh yeah, like a wood stove?
Wood stove, So what happens if that child touch or try to play around with the fire inside the stove? And if you stay too far away from him, what should you do? Would you yell to stop him, or would you just stand there compassionately? You understand that? You have no choice. You stand out too far from your reach to stop him. So you have to yell, stop! No, don't touch that. Otherwise, it will burn his hand. So that is wrathful Bodhisattva, right? But with intention, good intention, not to harm, good intention to teach people, good intention to care for the children. You understand that? So that reason why I don't know mention about your parents, right? You know, your parents too, right? You have children too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So still young? They're still young?
Yeah, oh no, I have one, he's a baby. He's like 8 months old.
Okay, that's too young. Too young to talk, right? But you be careful. Whenever you admonish, you scold them, be careful. Why? Most of the times, we scold them, we admonish them with what? With anger. Is that right? We couldn't control our emotion when they make mistake. What happens if they pull water onto your laptop?
I would be angry.
Yeah. See that? You see that? And but they're innocent, is that right? They don't know what they're doing. So that's why, you know, even us when we grown up, we used to remember the time that we were yelled at, we were scolded by our parents. We don't remember the times that our parents bought things for us.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Why? Because energy, negative energy is still impact in our mind. So, especially, yeah, your parents should be careful when you yell to them. If you yell to them, admonish them with compassion, they understand, they recognize, they remember. Otherwise, with the anger, it lasts forever. Okay, so again, so Rinchi, he used that one, the style, shouting and hitting with compassion. Especially, you know, if you do meditation, you know, when you do meditation, it's easy for you to encounter two difficulties, two main problems. First, to sleep or playing around with your thoughts. And with my own experience, when I practice at my master's temple, sometimes we start for more than 5 hours, and most of the time physically we tired, mentally we confused. We're not confused, but we are in the muddy state of mind. And that's why, of course, within his order, we have someone use it to remind us to wake up. And sometimes, you know, even when we walk around, still fall asleep. Yeah, because physically we are tired. Mentally, we really focus on the subject, object, but somehow you see that falling asleep is one of the problems when we do meditation. That's why when he shout to his student, just wake him up. Like when you were young, right? When you were in middle school, high school, right? When you're so late, and your parents yell, "Wake up! Go to school!" Is that right? It's normal, right? So of course they don't hit you. Anyway, so that's the style. This is the more proactive style to teach the student. I will show you, if we have time, we'll show you the clips about how they chant us. And remember I told you the story that he asked about, when he was novice, he asked his master, I have my eyes, my nose, my body, and so forth. How could this? How should I say? No eyes, no nose, no body, no tongue, and so forth. You remember I told you? What's the meaning? What's the meaning? Plus, this physical body won't last forever. But this one here, Buddha nature. So, in Buddhist point of view, Buddha nature, I told you last time too. Right? This is everlasting. This everlasting. This is stay with us forever. No, wherever we go, whichever form we have. This physical will be gone. That's like energy. This is like energy. It's everlasting. Our forms, male or female, according to Buddhist view, can be transformed to a next life. We don't know. According to Buddhist view, if we build up with the male or masculine personality, probably we have more chance to be male again, and vice versa. But the form can be changed. But the spirit, especially the Buddha nature, never change. That's Buddhist view. And this because of this we can achieve the Buddha. That's why they use this practice for you to remember, to recognize your intuition. This one is your intuition. That's all. Don't play around with your yes, sir.
So what you're saying is we have an ever-dying energy.
But it's covered, Buddhism is covered by, up by stress, anxiety, depression, and so forth. They harm us. So let me move in. So that's what he started that time teaching. Okay, the next one. Okay, no one talk about this. Number 2, no one does this. Okay. The father of Buddhism, remember this is one of the school that's found by the master and the student. And this one is very important figures in Zen tradition too. Every novice need to study one of his the department of the monks and nuns. He laid out the strict rules for monks and nuns to abide. Besides the Vinayakas, remember, according to the Eastern traditions. When he was young, when he stayed with his master, one day, this is we talk about Kongan today too. So one day, his master called him in and told him that go to the wood stove to find a piece of pie for me. And yes, he did, but he could not find anything. And so his master stood up and went there, and sometimes he used to fire. Later on, he found a little fire there. And he said, "Why is that?" At that moment, he recognized awaken. You understand what is awaken about? No? No? That's one of comment too. I will talk about that. Please remember if you forgot. Okay, we'll talk about that when we talk about comment here. Okay, so one day there's one fortune teller came to the monastery and asked and told his master, there's a big mountain over there. Please send one monk, one particular monk, one strong spirit monk to go there and take care of that mountain. Because at that mountain, later on, we'll have thousands of monks to study over there. So again, they have some kind of competitions. This is a long story, much short. So his teacher sent him there. His master sent there. Oh, the mountain, nothing there. There's no food available, except the tree, the forest. I mean, the trees, the rocks. That's all. And he lived there for 3 years with the wild animals, the tigers, snake, and so forth. Last time I asked you, have you been by yourself one day, even in your room, right? Not talking about in the forest or on the mountain, right? Have you been? Not yet, right? So he stayed there for 3 years amongst the wild animals. You have to have that kind of strength. You serve now, you know, right? So you live in desert or what?
Well,
Where?
yeah, I lived in Iraq for 2 years.
But usually you went with many soldiers, right?
Yeah.
They don't you're not sniper, right?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so it's not easy. Even stay in your room for a day, you may not have that spirit. Not talking about 3 years on the mountain with the wild animals by himself. Of course, yes, sir.
What's the purpose of living?
Meditation. In the forest, in the mountain, this quiet area, so that's enhance your skill of meditation, because you would not disturbed by people coming and so forth. Understand that?
Yes. But is it possible that it could backfire?
Backfire?
Like a person be meditating and they get to meditating so much they think that they're God or something.
That's the difference only, no.
Okay.
In Buddhism, later on I will tell you about what is called the Diamond Sutra. Whoever claims themselves, I'm a God, I'm a arhat, and so forth, they start to do one. Because it's still attached to the ego. You see that's different from all the religion. You see, if you claim yourself like this person, that person, a patient, and so forth, that's not the real one. When you achieve to that state of mind, you don't need to say. You don't need to label yourself. It's to come naturally. You see that? Okay. So anyway, so he's so famous. He's so famous in Zen Buddhism because he set the strict rules for the monks to go. Now, before I move on, let me tell you, there's another Kongan too. There's a monk. He went in the winter, like in winter it's too cold, right? He went to a temple, Buddhist temple. He saw the wooden Buddha statue on the altars. What happened? It's too cold for him. He took one of them down and burned as a heater, as a source of heater. And the abbot, or the monk in charge of that temple came out. How could you burn my Buddha statue? I told you this story, yeah? And so he said, because of I want to get the relic from Buddha. So how could you find relic between the wooden statue? So otherwise, if that's the case, a bit more. So because in Zen tradition, the purpose is to point to the Buddha nature. Sometimes some monks they took advantage on that and they so lousy. They are lousy monk. That is why, that is why he laid out the rules for people to follow, especially for the beginners. And you cannot imitate the monks, the enlightened person. Yeah. Okay, so let's just move on to the next one. Yes, what do you have essay?
It's The more philosophical Zen schools were set up by monks like Eisai,
Eisai.
Eisai, okay, which emphasized liberation through the insight of meditation, and they were rapidly adopted by the upper classes and had a profound impact on Japanese culture. Eisai was a Japanese Buddhist priest. He started the Rinzai school, and he also brought green tea from China to Japan. He was dissatisfied with the state of Buddhism at the time that he was studying in the 1100s. So in 1168 he went to China, the origin of the Zen, the Chan tradition, and he studied there for 6 months, and then he went back for a longer stay later. He became certified as a Zen teacher, and in 1191 he took the scriptures and tea seeds and he founded a temple. And then he left. He started facing a lot of pushback from the normal traditional schools of Buddhism, like Tendai. So he ended up moving to Kyoto for the northeast. He left Kyoto and went to Kamakura in 1199, where the shogun were, and they enthusiastically welcomed his teachings. Let's see, where's he established the Rinzai school in 1191, I said that, and the samurai liked the Zen way of life because of confronting death without fear and acting in a spontaneous and intuitive way. And during this period, the Gozen system, where 5 mountains and 10 temples, was established, which institutionalized an influential part of the Rinzai school.
Okay, yeah. Later on, thank you. He established that Rinzai, or Linji in Chinese. And later on, the samurai, is that samurai? Samurai, what I mean? The shogun, right? They adopt this kind of lifestyle. Why? Because you have to be sharp, right? When you go to the battlefield, otherwise you be killed easily.
Like saying you have to be very present of mind.
I suppose.
And focused.
So that's why they apply this kind of meditation or the Zen practice in all kind of arts. Okay, so the next one, Nick.
Nick's not here.
Oh, Nick not here. Oh, sorry. Hold on this one. Okay, Dongshan again. He founder of Kowloon set. Now, it's in the opposite practice of Linji. Dongshan, he advocates a soft meditation, what they call silent, luminous chant. That means that he encourages students to do inside meditation. That's samatha and vipassana, and the soft way, in opposites with the Linji one. And that's why these two traditions are in contrast with each other, so that whoever want to have the more provocative practice who go to Rinji, or whoever want to go to the soft one, go with the Kowloon. So there's a choice, alternate choice. Now up to nowadays, especially now, these two traditions still survive in China, Japan, Vietnam, and so forth, especially in Japan. Okay, Taylor, what do you have for Dogen?
He was a Zen master from the Soto school. He trained under Ru Jing, a master of Chinese Saodong lineage. He wrote the Treasury of the Eye of the True Dharma. He traveled to China to study in the Jiangde Sim monastery. He returns to Japan in 1228, I think, and writes down the Fukan or Zazenje. He ran from persecution upon his return. He taught Zazen, or sitting meditation, as a central practice of Buddhism. He also taught the oneness of practice enlightenment. And I have a quote, to practice the way single-heartedly is in itself enlightenment. There is no gap between practice and enlightenment or zazen and daily life. He taught the Buddha nature, or the nature of reality in all beings. He taught time being, which time itself is being, and all beings are time. He was very critical of the Renzai school for their formulaic and intellectual koan practice. And he wrote the Shobo Jinzo, the Sinjai Shoben Jinzo, and several other important Buddhist books.
You understand what he say about what's that? Times is what you mentioned?
No, I didn't. I have an idea.
What, you understand that quote?
The time quote or the quote that I read?
The time that you get read.
No.
Can you read again?
Time itself is a being, and all beings is time.
What's mean? You know what's the idea? Time is a spin, right? All is time.
Is
What's
it talking
mean?
about impermanence?
Not really.
Eternity.
Huh?
Eternity.
Time is being. All beings is time. Let me put this way. If you study Taoism, who study Taoism? Vicky, who studies Taoism? Taoism?
Oh, Taoism.
Taoism.
Yeah.
Remember, one is all. All is one. Remember? What means that one is all? Actually, this one here. One from number one. From this one, this you can start from one and go to the cycle. One is all. Always one. Time is beings. All beings is time. Let me put it this way. We discriminate to, okay? We have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, so forth, right? Now, if you really focus on your task, if you really focus on your piano, when you play piano, if you really focus on your drawing, you notice times.
Like hours can go past.
Yeah. You understand now? Time is beings. If you are in tune with your object, especially in drawing, right? You don't pay attention about times. When taking the exam, right? Sometimes probably we walk into the room and probably that test may last for a couple hours, right? But when you really focus, 2 hours pass quickly. Is that right? That means time is being. Beings is all beings is time. That's meaning. Make sense? How about other things?
The other quote
Other quote.
Was to practice the way single-heartedly is in itself enlightenment. There is no gap between practice and enlightenment, or zazen and daily life.
You understand that?
Yeah, I think
What's
so.
mean?
I think it means to sit there and practice, or to sit there and do zazen is also the same thing like when you just go out into the real world.
Yeah. You're not two person.
Yeah.
You don't have double life.
Yeah.
You have in tune with whatever you do. Okay, so they make documentaries or movies about him. It's really interesting how he his childhood, adult life, or monkhood life, and how he established a temple and so forth. That's been interesting movie if you want. Yeah.
You say that statement again. You say time is a
Beings.
being.
All beings is time. Is that right?
All
Yeah.
beings is time.
You understand the concept now?
And what was the other one? He said time is a being.
Time itself is a being, and
Okay.
all beings are time.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. You understand that concept, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Let's move on there. Okay, so the next one, Zen teaching and narrative.
Yes.
What do you have there?
I couldn't print mine out, but
Buddha kill Buddha. Are you going to explain that part?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I don't understand that. And that's pretty much all I have.
That's all. Okay. If you don't understand anything about Buddhism, especially Zen tradition, this is make you out of your mind, right? Oh no, what's me? If you mean Buddha kill Buddha, it means your parents kill your parents.
I would assume he doesn't mean literally.
That's the point.
It's more metaphorical. He's just saying, don't let anything stand in your path. Don't let anything block your way or distract you, even your family or the Buddha or the teaching.
That's the
He's
point.
not literally saying go and kill them.
Yeah, that's the
I
point.
think he's saying kill the distraction,
Right, that's right.
not the actual person.
Okay. That's the point. So don't take it. Don't think. But somehow later on he recognized that's not much important. So later on he worked in the kitchen of the big monastery. You know, in monastery in the past, thousands of monks staying together. So when they have actually when they prepare the meal, it's a lot. They have a huge pot to cook rice, tofu, and so forth. It's not a small one because it's cooked for the whole community for hundreds of thousands of people together to eat at one time. So while he cooking the rice, so somehow the steam of water is come up, and so somehow the figures of that Bodhisattva, wisdom Bodhisattva, appear into the stream, the steam. So somehow he uses the stick to hit that figure. Of course, right?
You get like one woody armor out of it, one. Is that like? White. So white.
Okay. Let's start the class. So today we continue to talk more about Zen traditions. And actually, the brief introduction, if you really want to study Zen, is plenty of information. Okay, what do you have for Linji?
Linji, I don't know how to say his last name, the Y-I.
Linji, you call Linji is
The founder of the Linji school of Chan Buddhism. All the information that we have on Linji was recorded 250 years after his death, and it's called the Linji Yuli, or Yulu.
he exercised people to kill people, right?
Right.
No, that's not the case. Because if you do meditation, while you're sitting there, there's a lot of talk popping up. The attachment to your family members, parents, girlfriends, boyfriends, children, and so forth. You need to let them go. That's what you mean. Right? Don't attach to them. If you don't attach to them, you move forward. You make more advanced. Otherwise, you get stuck there. Because that he talk about the mental level of mind, not the physical level.
Because he's talking about meditation in this passage.
Let me tell you a story. There is a monk. He, a Chinese monk. He liked to go to the Five Peaks mountain in China. It's famous, where they worship the Manchurian Bodhisattva, the wisdom Bodhisattva. So he want to go there to see him spiritually.
He was born into a family named Zing, and he left at a young age to study Buddhism in different places. He had a first master, Huangbo Ziyong, and it is said that he came to Kenshu and left and then came back to that master. After reaching awakening, he's known for teaching students to help reach awakening by hitting and shouting. It was most often used with a fly whisk, because that would reflect water. And then there was this whole story that I'm not sure if you want me to read it. It was the Linji's iconoclasm, and it's if you want to, it says if you want to get the kind of understanding of the core Dharma, never be misled by others. And it said like